Hey everyone, it's Richard Cleveland here again with Earth School, and we want to show you something that we discovered here right at our home base on this water oak, which is a member of the red oak family, or red oak group. And what we have right here are oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms are one of the mushrooms that we feel are some of the easier ones to identify. I'm not a mushroom expert, I want to make that very clear. Oyster mushrooms are something that we've collected before and eaten them, and they're absolutely delicious. This is the time of year when you're going to find them, usually in the late fall or early winter. Sometimes there's some species of Pleurotus that you can find in the summertime. And it's not unusual also to find these on like tulip, poplar, or tulip tree, I should say, to be more accurate. And a single tree, for instance, if it's at the right stage, I mean, you could have 20 pounds of mushrooms in just one little section on this thing. But these are absolutely beautiful. They are a gill mushroom. They have either a very short or a non-existent stem that generally, as you'll see as I collect this, if you look at the fruiting body of this mushroom, because this is technically the fruiting body of this particular mycelium, and the stem is oftentimes not centered, it's off to one side of it, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and cut one of these off to show this to you. And remember, this is the fruit. The mycelium is still in the tree itself, and so I'm not destroying this, I'm just harvesting the fruit of this, right? Oh God, that's beautiful. Oyster mushrooms have a very distinctive odor to them as well. It's not unpleasant, it's just different, and it's pretty consistent with the different species. And again, I'm not an expert, I don't want to say that. One thing that you should always do, just to be sure, number one, just to back up a little bit, this is growing on a tree, and generally mushrooms that grow on wood are generally safer. But just in case, we're going to do what's called a spore print. The spores are kind of like the mushroom seeds that it throws out in order to spread itself. And so we can take this and place it on a piece of paper, generally a colored piece of paper. Black is ideal, but anything brightly colored. And also we'll take a piece and we'll put it on a white piece of paper. And we'll look at the color of the spore print. The spore print on oyster mushrooms should be whitish, perhaps grayish, or sometimes it's referred to as a slight lilac color. And then we'll know for sure. I mean, I feel very comfortable with this mushroom, and we're going to wind up collecting all of these here. And so we'll do a segment two where we'll show you the spore print and maybe even the actual cooking and consumption of this wonderful gem of a mushroom. So once again, earlier we collected these oyster mushrooms and we talked about doing a spore print. Now, we didn't have any black paper, but what I had was some blue paper here. I was pretty confident these were going to be oyster mushrooms, which I'm thrilled about, by the way. And so let's take a look at what we have here. And so we're going to move this now, right? Of course, I've already done it, but look at that. We see we have a very clear kind of a white print. You can call it grayish, and you know the background is not the greatest. You got a photo bomb from my cat here. So this is an oyster mushroom. Again, I'm not an expert, but I've eaten these numerous times, and I'm not going to recommend that you go out and just haphazardly see a mushroom and collect it and call it your own, because that's just irresponsible. So do your research. Check with some local people. Find some mushroom experts in your area, and you can benefit from these wonderful, nutritious wild mushrooms that, and sometimes can be found in great abundance. So bon appetit. We're going to cook some of these up later on and have a feast. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it.